Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lynk's League, where I'm in a league of my own. And in this video, I am playing Maokai, because I am a Maokai addict. I picked him up and the skin to force myself to learn him. It took me one bot game to learn the simple mechanics of how Maokai works, and then I think it was about 10 games in a row that I won. Like, I literally just carried my team through pretty much just being a great jungle. Not good, he's actually a great jungle. I've really been on a jungle spree lately. I've been either doing a Moo for AoE pub stomps, or I've been doing Maokai for a lot of single target damage. As you can see, this group has a lot of single target damage, as we are going to be featuring a Teemo, a Graves, an Evelynn, and an Irelia. This essentially is going to allow me to get to lane and do quite a bit of damage before anyone really notices. So, I mean, if we look at it, we have Graves with the buckshot, Evelynn with her ulti and her slashes, I forget the name of it, Teemo with his blinding dart, and if he can, land a shroom, and Irelia with her stun and her chase to do quite a bit of early and quick damage to a fight. Now, I'm actually here, and I ask for a smiteless blue. I do this quite a bit on Maokai, especially when I'm playing purple. If I'm playing blue, I occasionally, or I most likely will not, and I will run mana yellows. Here I'm trying something new by putting 3 saplings down instead of putting 2 down and then hitting with the 3rd or 4th. And by doing this, I think a sapling does execute itself early. Yes, it does. So it didn't do all the damage it was supposed to. So that is kind of a fault right there, although they do help me clear that up rather quickly, and I will be heading over to blue buff. Now, Maokai can be played very interesting ways. Like, I want a smiteless blue so I can quickly get to ganking phase, or even get any of the abilities or items that I need. Now, one thing I always do run on Maokai, as I'm going to state again, is yellow blues. Wait, what? Mana yellows. And this is not flat, it's mana regen, and it's either, I think I have 5 per levels and then 5 flats. I'm not quite sure. Mana per levels on him, or whatever, they're mana yellows in general. They allow me to sustain if I do not have a blue buff, if it's stolen from me. Like, you will actually see, I don't have a blue buff, do I? No. The Teemo poison got it because I went with a smiteless blue. So Teemo is going to have a blue early game, and my yellows are going to help me sustain and sit through the jungle. This is actually something that a lot of people don't do on Maokai. I mean, keep in mind I do have my smite for red buff, but they don't actually have anything of the sort. I mean, Teemo with blue buff actually is really tearing it up down there, and doing quite a bit of damage, and helping Graves win his early game on his lane. And that really is something. I'm going to drop that and go back to me. As you're going to see, I'm going to get in a decent position so I can land all my abilities, and my mana yellows are doing their job rather well, with gaining around, do the math, I'm getting an extra maybe, not 1 mana, maybe like an extra 0.7. I do return early before going to Golem, since I did have to waste that couple extra pots because of the regen. This will actually, I think it mitigates me from getting my item that I normally build at this time. Yes it does. So I don't build what I normally build at this point. I build, do I wait? No, I don't wait. Yeah, I get the Crystalline Flask, so I can pop that when I'm going into fights, or if I need help in jungle because my blue was stolen by a Teemo. And I actually do get the mana pendant because mana, he is very mana hungry. I actually go back and get an extra pot too, just for the heck of it. But we are going to see our Teemo, first time my mouse appears on screen. First, we are going to see a Teemo and getting a first blood for the team. So what's going to happen? Teemo is going to be farming, Leona's going to go in on the Teemo, and this was glitched to no end. Hold on. Let me just reset that. There we go. Okay. So Teemo's up there, and he is farming and getting minions, right? So Leona thinks it's a bright idea to go in after Teemo, and she doesn't actually stun him for a couple seconds, although Teemo goes in with the poison and gets the kill. And the fact he has full mana means he can continue to do this while Leona is currently gone. And that is essentially that. Now let's cover up the matches. So let's just go straight to Irelia. Okay, let's go to Irelia's lane. There we go. And let's really see what we're going to see up top. Up top, we're going to see Irelia versus Kha'Zix. Irelia is going to actually have quite a big advantage over Kha'Zix, as she will be able to stun him whenever he tries to initiate. Although, when it comes to her actually getting near him, unless she has a minion or two near her, she'll take quite a bit of damage from his abilities. I mean, his Unseen Threat, I think, is his passive, which is where if you're by yourself or not near a minion, he can do quite a bit of extra damage with his Q, and that can be quite devastating. Now, heading back down to bottom, since I wanted to cover that first, we have a Leona Varus versus a Teemo Graves. And this really is a great lane comp for, well, more so the enemy team. But the fact that they have a Teemo pretty much counters almost all of Varus' damage. Varus only has 2 damage spells, other than a basic add-on spell like Teemo's Poison, that is really not used for much. I mean, if we can actually... he's this button. If we can actually look at him, he's speccing into that ability because he knows it. He knows that his other abilities won't do as much damage, or he's just bad. Hopefully he knows better. Although, we are going to see Mrs. Evelyn on her way in, looking for a gank, and there's the Shroud, or whatever you want to call it, and she is now kind of sitting here waiting. What we'll see Leona actually getting dangerously... look at that, 1 basic, almost 100 health. This is before... no, wait, this is the patch of Teemo getting his nerf. AP Teemo got a massive nerf, and I honestly want to see it get more nerf. I've been playing games where they've been going Glass Cannon Teemo, and since he's so fast, they can get away. Although we are going to see a gank down bottom. That kind of goes sour because the blind on the Nocturne, so what is Nocturne going to do? Retreat back to jungle, and bottom lane's going to stay like that. Now, I don't think I've ganked once yet because of my slow start, although in the mid, we're going to see quite an interesting comp. Veigar can counter a badly played Evelyn, but Evelyn can easily destroy a Veigar. So this essentially is a game of wits and skill in mid, and we are actually going to see quite a bit of play from the Evelyn against the Veigar. Veigar can stun and then nuke Evelyn, but the thing is he has to first find her if she's going in for an initiation, or he first has to get her out of position, which she can easily move. Like, if she knows where she's at, she can easily get a stun. She can easily get out of the range of the AoE stun from the Veigar. As for bot lane's pretty much going to have a lot of burst damage in between Teemo and Graves, and that's really going to be able to burst out both of them. Although we're going to see Irelia caught out and forced to fight. Now she's going to be in a 2v1 with the Cossacks doing quite a bit of damage, but will she leave without a kill? No, she will die, and Nocturne will get out with the Ignite ticking away with still 100 health left. And let's leave it to the junglers, which is the last thing I'll talk about. They have a Nocturne. Nocturne has tried making a comeback with a couple patches, and he still is not as viable as he should be. I mean, he's a great jungler, don't get me wrong, but there's some things in his kit that need to be fixed. I mean, it's ridiculous. But we are going to go top to see a Evelyn pub stomp on this Cossack. So Cossack's is staying out, and he has no wards. He's going to decide to go and return right in lane when there's an Evelyn on the enemy team. There's the ulti from the Evelyn, and she's going to go in, land her double backslash or whatever, and finish him off with a couple Qs. So anyway, Nocturne, he is interesting. He is kind of fitting the meta, but he still is not. He's a strong champion, but it takes a while to actually learn and play him correctly. He can carry hard, and he has a spell shield, which really makes him viable, especially for one-on-ones. Now, Nocturne can really wreck, but when it comes to jungle, it has to be played very, very safely, and you have to know exactly how you're going to Nocturne. Because if you don't, you are going to play him wrong, and your team is going to rage at you. As I'm going to be... I think I go Smiteless on... Yes, I do. I choose to go Smiteless on blue quite a bit, because saving it for red really helps. I mean, I had to do a full clear here, and I haven't even ganked once. I mean, I'm very far behind with my actual gold income because of the blue loss. Normally what I do on Maokai, as I waste my... What? I wasted my... Okay. Normally what I do on Maokai is when I have blue buff, I will farm and farm and farm until blue buff runs up. Because that will just get me so far ahead. I mean, one game, I was actually level 7 and everyone else was level 6. And bot lane was level 5. And it really was great. I farmed so much and I had so much actual gold and mana. I had boots, the jungle stone, or whatever they call it, and the crystalline flask at this time in that game, at 9 minutes. and I was ganking like no other. As you're going to see, I'm getting dangerously low at red buff, kind of try and kite it a little bit, but that's not really working. And I do get out with barely any health. I'm choosing not to go to golems. And yeah, also the triple gank on mid, even though she has no vision, the triple gank did not work and did not do anything. Sorry guys, I just had to sneeze there. Hopefully we'll cut that out. If I forget, I am terribly sorry. Okay, so they have vision on Nocturne. So what are they going to do with said vision? Well, they have no clue where he is anymore. So Evelyn's going to go out and kind of look around for Nocturne. As she does see him, she's going to boost her speed, go in with the ulti, land a double slash, and then finish off with a basic. Now it is 3 and no turret down bot, as they're going to collapse in on Teemo for some reason. Varus, or Global Taunt OP, Varus is actually going to go in and attempt to use everything on Teemo, and now they're going to collapse in on Leona with an easy double kill. Well, an easy double kill for the red team. Now up top we're going to see an Irelia, and I actually have not done this yet. Excuse me. So let's see. Jungle. There's not really much happening. He initiated a fight that he couldn't win, so it's actually going to force him to flash back, and he actually can nuke her down from where she is, so she needs to watch out. He's got quite a bit of mana, and if he can do his leap missile Q strike, he most likely will win. Now, I'm going to go back to mid, and then back it up a little bit, because we're going to see the Veigar actually dying here. So we're going to have Evelyn, Teemo, and Graves all come in, and I'm going to land all my CCs and keep Veigar where he needs to be for the duration of the kill. Now, yet again, I'm going to be pulling this up. We have Kha'Zix top. Right here, as we're going to see, Irelia will be able to stun the Kha'Zix and get the kill on him, as she does have more damage when it comes to an early skirmish. Wow, I love how I did half of that and didn't even think about it. When we come to builds, let me just focus the camera on Maokai. When we come to builds, Kha'Zix is going straight brutalizer and not really going defensive. Irelia has a Philo Stone and Tabbies, which is really going to make her a really good duelist against Nocturne. Now, heading to mid, we have what I don't even know the Veigar is building, and Evelyn looks like she's rushing a death cap. Down bot, we have a Vampire Scepter and Greaves versus Greaves and a pickaxe. That's enough said. Okay, so I'm not going to cover support builds, and I'll cover jungle builds in a second. So they have no vision here, and we kind of see that, as it took him quite a long time to actually go back. I do blow my cover early, but I decided to flash in, lock him up, put down a sapling, and put a field right in the area where we're fighting. Kha'Zix does leave, but I managed to nuke him rather low before he gets back into the lane, so that means he will have quite a difficult time actually staying in lane, as he will go back, so it will buy Irelia extra time and make him lose more experience and gold. Okay, so going back to the jungle builds, I'll cover support since AP Teemo. AP Teemo has looks like a Malady, Greaves, and a dagger, while the Leona looks like she's not even building anything yet, because she doesn't have a Philo by 12 minutes. It's kind of useless. She did rush to Sightstone for no good reason. Nocturne has a Wriggles Lantern, and it looks like he's building into Greaves, while I have Mobies, the Jungle Stone, which I think it's called the Spirit Stone? Yeah. The Spirit Stone and a Flask, which will give me just enough regen to do whatever the heck I want for as long as I want. There we go for an easy pickup after that kill, as I will rewind so we can see said kill. So as I said, Evelyn will have quite a few issues when she goes up against... Excuse me. Here we go. Let's actually get the whole fight in here. So, like I said, Evelyn will have a lot of issues if she does get outplayed or if she gets out of position. So Veigar actually protects himself from that, completely nukes her, puts an ignite out on her, and gets the kill from the ignite, as she does pop a couple health potions. Now he's going to go back. I'm going to use Twisted Advance, get some distance, and hit in front of me, so that anything to the sides or in front of me will get knocked up in case he got unrooted faster than I expected. That would land me the kill and allow us to continue this game. So we're going to see Kha'Zix actually going in on the Irelia. Irelia will be able to do quite a bit of damage, but Kha'Zix, yet again, will manage to retaliate with quite a bit of damage because of his Q. His Q really will hurt you. It's not really to be taken lightly. His Q has ridiculous ratios, and the fact that he's already put an extra point into it, it will do 138 or 130 plus 80 with this with this current setup, which is just a brutalizer and that. It'll do 160 plus 80 damage, and if they are alone or isolated, as it says, it will do 235 plus 120. That's quite a bit of damage. That is almost, let's see, that's almost 350 damage. But then he made it. Then he used his evolved claws, and that's gonna do an extra 12% of damage. So that's quite a bit of damage. Even though he's not fed or farmed, he can do quite a massive amount of damage. So Graves see Nocturne, and Nocturne's going back, and they really do not see each other. But the Nocturne is going to go in for an in lane on the Irelia. They have no clue the Graves is there, as we can see from the vision. And we have no clue Nocturne's there, although Graves did see Nocturne. Now Graves is going to go in and help on this fight. Nocturne's going to quickly break off as Graves is going to start poking at the tower. Now it's going to see the Teemo going out and trying to ward, and getting CC'd like no other, and getting chased down, and finally, after 14 minutes, getting his second death. And we are going to see the vindictive Evelyn going after and almost killing the Varus. And that was a sapling you heard. I just cleared another camp. Now, Maokai, the reason I built him this way is because I just find it really viable. I want to take a little bit of pressure off the supports, and you know what? You guys are probably anxious to see whatever the heck happened there. So they start from turret. New minion wave come in. She goes in. She stuns and locks up the Nocturne. Goes in with her ulti, lands a basic, and Graves comes in with his ulti, but her basic is stronger than Graves. But anyway, the way I build Maokai is quite interesting because the way I build Maokai. I start off by going with the machete, and then I will try and upgrade to the Spirit Stone and get a flask. This will allow me to jungle even without blue buff, and with my mana yellows, it'll be essentially I'll have full mana when I go into lane. The reason I keep the flask for so long is because I'll start popping it if a fight's about to break out, and I'm a little bit low from jungling. So that's the reason for that. After I get those two items, I normally build boots into Mobies, and then that will give me my gank ability. Then I will build my Sightstone, which will allow me to actually ward my jungle, or do offensive warding if I want to counter jungle, or ward lanes where the support doesn't need it. Normally when I'm playing Maokai, I will ward right here, and right here. Oh look. Sometimes, if I feel safe, I will actually ward over here, but since this lane was still laning, I decided to put one in this bush right here, and I warded my own blue, actually no, Teemo warded that now. Oh duh, I normally ward my blue if there's someone like a Lee Sin or a Shaco, but Teemo was doing that for me this game. Now, a couple things you'll see is I will change this build depending on what I need. This build is very versatile, as their team has 1, 2, 3 people that attack with attack damage. I'm going to be building this into the Golem Spirit Stone thing. Actually, I put another ward there because I'm rewarding, because there's nothing better to do right now. I'm building this into the Golem Spirit Stone over the over anything else, because it really just it'll fit. It gives you extra physical damage because of these guys. And then after that, I will build my Aegis of the Legion, and that is there essentially to give me some MR along with health and defense. And then I will build that into the next variation to give me even more defense. Now, if the enemy team has a lot of magic damage, I'll build that first instead of building the giant spell for the actual item that I'm building, which is the Golem Crystal. And that is essentially that for what I build with him. Then I normally have one extra slot, and it kind of depends on what I get. I mean, there's some branching paths on what I'll actually get on him. I've seen Spirit Visage done, mostly for the cooldowns and the extra map or extra magic. I keep going after Kha'Zix because I want him to waste his mana on me, and I actually just start popping my flask, and I decide to start engage on this fight. I do flash out because I know that I can't do much, but the Graves is going to stay in there with the Irelia, and the Irelia will pick up another kill, as the Teemo will chase the Varus to under tower, and now we have the 280 carries and me sitting here. And Graves is actually choosing to go back, as Teemo wants that Kha'Zix kill really bad. But with Nocturne back up, and his ulti could easily reach Teemo, Teemo will go back to laning and being an attack speed carry like he should. So anyway, back to how Maokai is built. So I would normally get that and then that, and you have one slot left. You can either build that situational, or you can build that safe. You can build many things with that. You can build a Guardian Angel, which I don't really suggest. You can build a Sunfire Cape, a Frozen Heart. Those are your two defense, like actual defense ones. Then if you have a team that's heavy on the magic, you can either build a Spirit Visage or a Banshee's Veil. Those are your 4 options, and then your 5th option is obviously the Guardian Angel. And this will make Maokai ridiculously tanky. Now if your game consists, after you can get that full build, I suggest selling the flask and then buying something that will be the opposition of what you actually built. So if you built an MR item, build a armor item. Like I've built before, I built a Spirit Visage, and then I decided to build a Frozen Heart over building, or no, sorry, I built a Sunfire. I was at roughly almost 5k health, and I could sit there and face tank, and they couldn't do anything about it. And yeah, that's how that works. So if you're looking for a decent build, this is one that I actually seen Odd One using on a live stream, so that helps a little bit. Going in, locking up Leona for an easy kill, although his ornament does hit everyone, putting up the field right where the fight breaks out. Nice placement. As we're going to see the Kha'Zix going up, using his ulti and getting away, but he will want that Teemo quite bad, as the shutdown will go out on the Graves, but the Teemo poison too strong. Now if we see what happened down here with the Graves, there's all the damage, and there's me putting the field down. Now we're going to see everyone leave as Nocturne kind of just dies. Graves is sitting out here a little bit too far, as Evelyn is pushing back. There's the shutdown from actually an Ignite, as the Kha'Zix does fall. Now it is me and Irelia. As you're going to see in the bottom left corner, I am popping pots like it's my job. I used all 3 charges, so I can actually start to regen some mana, as we are going to be pushing forward more, and I feel like this is necessary. So I'm actually not going to be casting spells, I'm just going to be using my basics, and I'm going to attempt to actually push through to the tower and do what I do. Now I'm going to be zoning, and I really want that. I really, really want that. I throw out my sapling, and will it get him? Will it get him? No. That close. That would have been amazing if I actually could have killed him. Now, people say you should build ability power on Maokai. I say this is wrong. His ratios are decent, but I think that the flat damage is great. I mean, for level 5 of this, that is 250 damage. And you get the slow, so right there is enough. Right here, level 1 is 80, and then right here at level 3 is 110, then 118. We know they're there after Varus does that, so I just keep deciding to decide to wait until the last second, because I do know the cooldowns of most of the League's champions' abilities. I threw a sapling there to make it seem like there wasn't a ward, so they'd feel a little bit more comfortable after it died. That's kind of a little psychological thing. I mean, I've seen this happen before, and it works pretty well. If you throw a sapling, people will think that there's no vision there, and it'll tend to actually work almost any time. Now we're going to see the shutdown quickly on the Varus, as Irelia is going to go after the Leona, but we're going to see quite a bit of damage going out on the Evelyn with an easy kill, although there's the flash and the following flash from the Irelia, as Teemo will now get into a 2-on-1, but get away with quite a bit of health. Now we will see a 2-on-1 on the Veigar, soon to be 3-on-1. Veigar's going to try and go after Teemo. There's the blind, there's the stun, and the stun does miss, as we do hear the bells. The bell tolls for thee. So Kha'Zix is actually hoping for something. I mean, he does have vision, and he kind of gave away to Irelia where he was, but he does have vision over Irelia, and he sees Graves now, and it's not really in his best interest to stick around. Although Irelia can easily dive him under tower, we will see her come by from the back and get ready for ganking position, as I'm getting in this to actually want to help her for this easy kill. She's going to go in, try to lock him up, and he's going to do quite a bit of burst damage to her, and she will fall and give a shutdown. But I'm going to lock up Varus and keep him here as long as I can, because Graves is a thing. Putting that field down, because that's just a giant sign saying, we're going to kill you. But he does get stunned and killed under turret for a easy 2 for 2. Although this game is quite a difference, here are the late game builds. As you'll see, the timer is wrapping up. We are 11 kills ahead, and that is essentially that for how that's working. Now, if you see the builds, you'll see that I have my Golem, here it is, the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. This gives you tenacity, which kind of makes up for not having Merc Treads, and it gives you the armor and health, and that's really what's great. Yeah, I'm just kind of focusing on here to watch that happen. Wait, there we go. And then anyway, I decided to still be building more armor, so I get the Emblem of Valor and the Ruby Crystal, so I'm even more tanky than I need to be. I mean, if you actually come over here, you can see that I am sitting at... I can't see that. That is a lot of health, right? I can't read that. It's too tiny. Anyway, we're going to see me coming in and getting in position to actually kill the Vigar. I actually was going for an assist, but no one could kill him before my combo went off, so that happened. Refreshing my wards, yet again, Dragon, Daisy, and that in the, I want to say, I don't know. I don't have a name for that. He's going to die, because why not? And now we're going to see them going after Evelyn. I'm quite sure we can easily take him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flash over the wall. I'm going to miss my snare, but I am going to get in his way, knock him up, and land the slow, as he's going to try to 1v1 the Evelyn. Now I'm going to put down my field so that we can actually sustain a little bit more damage, but that is the end of that, and that is the GG. So, if you enjoyed the content provided, leave a like. If you want to stay current, subscribe, and I will talk to you all later.